Hi guys, and welcome to a new video on Sonal's life. Now, obviously my last video was a review of the New Japan Strong Fighting Spirit Unleashed show, but ahead of Wrestle Kingdom and the Tokyo Dome, which they have really been setting up for, we have the final tournament of the year, and that is New Japan's Heavyweight World Tag League. Now, obviously we just had the Super Junior Tag League, and can I say, one of the best tournaments that I've seen in a long time with so many fresh talent. Now, I am going to look through all of the blocks on that are participating. Now, I know since it's been announced, there's been a lot of mixed reactions. Some people are underwhelmed. Some people don't like the teams. We have said that New Japan has had an issue with tag teams in the heavyweight division specifically. When we lost some big guys, we lost GOD, Hikuleo obviously left, ELP is currently ill. Again, sending all of our love. We've broken up a lot of big teams. It has meant that I think New Japan have had to scramble to create a lot to fill up the blocks. And surprisingly, there's not, if any, I think there may be one or two teams from other promotions. So please keep that in mind. I think it is a very New Japan heavy tournament. And with the division as bare as it is, I think that is very good. So yeah, let's get going. As always, we're going to start with Block A, and I'm going to read through the list of participants. So we start with Bishamon. So obviously, Hiroki Goto and Yoshihashi are back together after a few stints in singles competition. Oiwa and Zack Sabre Jr. Now, this is very interesting. This is the first name that is going to stand out. That normally ahead of Wrestle Kingdom in World Tag League, if you've already got a match set, you normally don't have a team in this because it's almost impossible to win Tag League, have a match at Wrestle Kingdom, but then have a special singles. They seem to have chucked that out of the waters for this. There are guys who've already got matches set who are in teams, which I guess makes it kind of interesting. So yeah, Oiwa and Zack Sabre Jr. TMDK. Gabe Kidd and Sanada, obviously after I had to divorce Sanada for betraying Holy Emperor Tai Chi, he has now joined up with the fucking madman Gabriel Kidd. We think that he may have been a replacement for Jake Lee, who is injured. So, I don't know, think of a name. Handsome Bastards. Just think of something. Very interestingly, and one that I have been praying for years. Well, a year. Yota Tsuji is teaming with fellow Los Ingobernables de Japón Shingo Takagi. Alex Zane, who obviously we've seen in the past, he has done junior stuff with New Japan and heavyweight. He is teaming with X. So similarly with the junior, with Taiji Shimori, we do not know who Alex Zane's partner is going to be. We then have Kenta and Chase Owens, so they are making their return. Shota Umino and Tomoaki Honma, and then the Empire's combo of Jeff Cobb and Callum Newman. Now, on the surface, there are some weird teams. Shota Umino is set to main event Wrestle Kingdom January the 4th with Zack Sabre Jr. and they have him teaming with Tomoaki Honma. We all know that in the heyday, Honma was an amazing tag team wrestler, multiple-time IWGP champion with Togi Makabe. Oh, obviously, where are you, Togi Makabe? But he has not been the same since his injury, so it'll be interesting. I wonder if, rather than results and things, this is tying into a storyline. Obviously, Bishamon have been such a strong team. I think out of every team in this block, they are the ones who are probably going to be the strongest in terms of teamwork-wise because they have been, again, multiple-time IWGP Heavyweight Tag Champions, have been working as Bishamon for years, but on a larger scale have been part of Chaos, like the same faction, for even longer. So they're going to be good. Obviously, I cannot miss out the fact that we have Yota Tsuji and Shingo Takagi teaming together. Now, last year, Shingo, I believe, wasn't in the tournament, but Tsuji teamed with Xandercon from CMLL. However, this team is a force to be reckoned with. If you watch Fighting Spirit Unleashed, you just saw they went up against the Kingdom, and they showcased what they can do as a team. While, obviously, they've never been a proper official tag team, if you all know, Los Ingobernables de Japón are so strong with their teamwork with each other that they can literally rotate, and we'll speak about that when we talk about Block B. We then have the exciting team of Gabe Kidd and Sanada. Now, I don't know how this is going to work. On one hand, you have Sanada, who is still very cool, calm, and collected. Like, almost going into War Dogs, he obviously dyed his hair blonde. He's going back to the true Cold Skull. But how are we going to balance that with Gabe Kidd, who is not only the fucking madman, but is very unhinged and unpredictable? To the extent that sometimes his unpredictability costs him a lot. Oiwa and Zack Sabre Jr. is going to be a great team. I think this one is it's obviously got the most new teams, but you have some huge stars. You have Hiroki Goto. Yes, he is still in his prime. Zack Sabre Jr., Gabe Kidd Sanada, Shingo, Tsuji, Shota Umino, Jeff Cobb. This has got some potential for some really amazing matches. Now, in terms of matches I'm looking forward to specifically, Zack Sabre Jr. and Oiwa facing Shingo, Takagi and Tsuji. Now, we know Zack and Shingo have had their fair share. They obviously had a match at Power Struggle. Similarly, Oiwa is obviously in the lower class to Shingo, but Shingo has also been on like a roll, but yet to pick up any belts or trophies. Always so close, but never winning, similar to Hiroki Goto. This match is going to be hard-hitting and absolutely insane. Similarly, I think Bishamon versus Shingo Takagi and Yota Tsuji. 4 guys with so much heart and soul. And you know what, just for the lols of it, I think it'll be hilarious to see Gabe Kidd and Sanada facing teams, because obviously Sanada and Zack have had plenty of matches together, but never with Sanada as a heel. And obviously if you put that with Gabe Kidd, who knows Zack Sabre Jr. like the back of his hand because of the British independence scene, it makes to be very interesting. Now, I'm going to speak about my prediction later on, but there are a few teams that really have a good shot at this, so we'll have to go back and see it in a bit. We then have Block B. For me, Block B is a bit of a weirder one, so I'm going to start reading through them all and then you can sort of see what I mean. So we have IWGP Heavyweight Champions, the Empires, Hanare and Great-O-Khan. They're a very interesting team that was created at Power Struggle of Los Ingobernables de Japon's Tetsuya Naito and Hiromu Takahashi. That is going to be unhinged as hell. Former IWGP and Strong Champions, currently beltless, TMDK's Shane Haste and Mikey Nichols. Evil and Ren Narita, because for some reason you've got to have House of Torture in there. And at least it's not Yujiro. Taichi and Taka Michinoku, obviously the storyline there is Taichi was meant to team with Sanada, but obviously Sanada betrayed him, and like after the show it was really hard because Taichi tweeted something like, "You told me that we were going to team together. If you didn't want to do it, you should have just said." So by default, there's only Taka left because obviously Doki is junior heavyweight champion and Uemura is still on the bench for injury. We then have Toru Yano and Bolton Oleg. Chaos, but we'll stick with that. Hiroshi Tanahashi and Jado. Now this team is another interesting, unexpected duo that's come about, and basically Tanahashi was meant to team with El Phantasmo, but obviously El Phantasmo is not wrestling at the moment, so as his hype man, I guess, Jado decided to take the lead. And then the only external duo that's very external is Natural Classics. I'm going to say I don't know anything about Natural Classics, but it'll be exciting to see. So yeah, this block is very interesting. You have two very established teams. Well, semi-established. You've got TMDK, Shane Haste and Mikey Nichols have been a team for years, spreading countries and promotions. Now this will be interesting because obviously they were on cloud 9. They had both belts, so the strong openweight and the IWGP. Power Struggle, they lost the IWGP belts to the Empire, and at Fighting Spirit Unleashed, they lost the strong belts to the grizzled young veterans, obviously British. So they didn't actually make any comments. Shane Haste was taking the lols on Twitter like, "Oh, now my bag's even lighter," whereas Mikey seemed much more like emotional about it. It's going to be interesting to see how that affects their mindset going forward, because I know there's a lot of people thinking, well, are we going to get a clean sweep for TMDK? So Zack obviously won the G1. Robbie and Fujita, aka the Ichiban Sweet Boys, won the Junior Tag League. Can TMDK win World Tag League? Before I might have said no, but with them having no belts, maybe. Similarly, Okan and Hanare. I have said this before, and people, you need to know this. They're not a random team at all. They were in the same dojo class together. They would have done a lot. So this is a very interesting pairing, and as champions, they obviously have a target on their back. Obviously, you've got all the singles champions, which again makes it more exciting because if you pin one of them, you get a shot at them. But again, by pinning Hinari and Okani means you don't even have to win Tag League to get a shot at the title at some point. I think obviously we know that there are two teams who are not going to get any, if many, wins, and that will be Taichi and Taka and Tanahashi and Jado. And obviously, Taka and Jado themselves are perfectly good wrestlers. In their heyday, hell, they were legendary, especially Taka. However, they are juniors in a heavyweight competition. So I think between Tana and Taichi, this is where we're going to be telling stories. How does Taichi come back from being betrayed by his friend? Similarly, this has happened twice. He was first betrayed by Kanemaru, who went to House of Torture, and then by Sanada, who went to War Dog. So what is his reaction going to be, especially to House of Torture guys? I specifically want to zoom in on Tetsuya Naito versus Hiromu Takahashi. This team is the one I am most excited for because it is the most unpredictable. Obviously, I mentioned before in Block A, that the good thing about Los Ingobernables de Japón is that because they are so close and they know each other so well, they can rotate perfectly. So while Hiromu is cheating on his long-term partner, Bushi, it makes sense because obviously they didn't have the best of luck in Junior Tag League, and Hiromu always wants to challenge himself. Now, the reason this is very funny is two things, actually. So one is the relationship between Naito and Hiromu. If anyone has watched Hiromu's YouTube channel or the backstage comments, it is like an older brother and younger brother dynamic. Hiromu just goes out to annoy Naito. And similarly, it leads back to when Hiromu was training and nobody saw anything except Tetsuya Naito. So this will be funny, like, they're both amazing wrestlers and I know they're going to take it seriously, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Secondly, why it's interesting is because it seems like for months they have been teasing Hiromu versus Naito at Wrestle Kingdom in a special singles match. So if that is actually the case, are they going to blend this into their tag league story? So is the team going to just do awfully? Are they going to have some discontent? Because if you think about it, even though LIJ have lost a few members, there has never been no discontent. It has always been surprising. So when Evil left, when Sanada left, do you know what I mean? So it'll be interesting to see. I personally think this block might not be as strong as Block A. Not in terms of team-wise, because obviously in both it is very heavily based on singles wrestlers coming together to form new teams. But I just think with the array of guys, Block A is much stronger. You have so many champions, so many guys at the top or getting to the top. You know, like the veterans, the present, the future, all seem to be in Block A. So I think it'll be interesting to see how all these singles wrestlers work together in teams against other teams. Now, obviously, it's time for some predictions. You know I love a good prediction. So I'm going to say Block A. Now, this is hard. I'm going to have to look again. I see Block A. Maybe this is like half my heart, half my brain. Because if it was my heart, I'd say, it's Bishamon. Bishamon's going to win Block A. But I think it might be Shingo Takagi and Yota Tsuji. Okay. Because those two are two of the best athletes in New Japan. Shingo is obviously never champion. Tsuji has a match against David Finlay coming up at Wrestle Kingdom. So I think they're going to be very difficult to beat. Like, between their strength, speed and agility, one of the strongest. Block B is a bit harder. I personally think... Okay, so Great Okan and Hinari are not going to win. Not that there's any down on them. I can't remember if there's been any time that the World Tag League winners have been champions. So I'm going to go with TMDK. TMDK are going to win because they're going to go on a redemption arc. Yeah, they're going to maybe be pissed off and beat the shit out of everyone. So we're going to see a final of Los Ingobernables de Japón versus TMDK. Which works because I think these two factions are very similar in the sense that they are not good guys, not bad guys, they are tweeners. And I believe that the final will see TMDK win. But, so listen to me out here. So if anyone watched Super Junior Tag League, they'll realise that although Ichiban Sweet Boys won, the match at Wrestle Kingdom is going to be Intergalactic Jet Setters, so Kushida and Kevin Knight, facing Ichiban Sweet Boys, facing Catch 22, so TJP and Akira, facing War Dogs, so Clark Connors and Drilla Maloney. I feel that there is going to be another team who is going to beat Okan and Hanare, and it is going to be a triple threat. So it will be Empire facing TMDK facing someone else. So that's my predictions. Overall, I agree when people say this isn't one of the strongest lineup in terms of if you're promoting it as Tag League. It does seem though that they are trying to promote this tour, elevate it by having the big names. You have the IWGP heavyweight champion in Zach, the never champion in Shingo Takagi. You have the television champion Ren Narita. You have obviously the tag champions. It feels like they are trying to increase the excitement with all of these big names. And we will see how that works in the end. So yeah, this is a little preview of what you can expect. I don't know, this is the last major tour, last major shows before Wrestle Kingdom. So not only do I think it's worth looking out for the impact it could have on the tag match, but also generally with all the champions and things in it, how it might affect January 4th and 5th. So that's my little preview of 2024 World Tag League. But now it's up to you. Let me know your thoughts. So obviously in the comments, on social media at wrestling_chat. Let me know your thoughts on the blocks. Obviously let me know your predictions. So who do you think is going to win Block A and Block B? Who do you think is going to win the whole tournament? What implications are going forward towards January 4th and 5th at Wrestle Kingdom and Wrestle Dynasty? Hit like, share, and hit subscribe. Again, I feel like a broken record, but the next few months are going to be crazy insane. There's going to be reviews, previews of normal videos. And remember, and I know I keep saying it, but if this doesn't make you want to subscribe, I don't know what will. I am going to Japan in January. I'm going to be at Wrestle Kingdom and Wrestle Dynasty. So I will be there with in-person reactions, reviews, literally hours after, and a vlog. So yeah, make sure to hit subscribe to follow that and to be the first people to know. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. It will be interesting to see what World Tag League brings, and I will speak to you guys soon. Bye!